Next up we have the last of the Mastertronic releases released in their second style of packaging. This is a sequel to a game called Frenesis, and this is called Hyperforce. Let's take a look at the front cover then. Quite a nice logo at the top there. It says Hyperforce in a shimmery sort of silvery text, and then we've got a large grid with some cylinders on it and a spaceship getting shot by some spaceships. That pretty much sums that up. And the spine says Hyperforce on, unsurprisingly, and the back cover's got some screenshots. Now, as I mentioned, this is a follow-up to a game called Frenesis, which I reviewed I think earlier this year, which was a strange game where you've got to kind of try and zap enemies by using some kind of glorified crosshairs that you move around the screen. That's that crosshairs. It's called a statron, by the way. That's what it's called in the context of the game. On this one there also seems to be some other kind of screens with kind of mazes or grids or something. I don't really know. We'll soon find out. And as it says there, battle scarred and weary, and with only the left half of your statron still operational after your last space skirmish. That will be the skirmish in Frenesis. There is just one mission left to complete, Hyperforce. Enter the first chamber at your peril. And as you can see there, well, we sort of see because it's kind of chopped in half, it's a fast-paced arcade something from Tony Takushi, who did the original game. So inside, brace yourself for some very convoluted instructions. Bit of introduction there. Battle scarred and weary with only the left half of your statron operational after your last space skirmish. Basically that's the same blurb as the back cover. There's all this information about the gameplay and I can't make head and a tail of it, to be honest. I seem to remember the original game being confusing. This one seems even more so. But basically the aim of the game is to pass through a series of chambers, collecting the pods. Chamber walls will advance on you. You can shoot at the walls to force them to retreat, but as they move back they'll erase the pods behind them. Oh, it just goes on and on and on. So there's only one way to pick up the pods, timers and anything else you should come across, and that's by using the left half of your statron. There's something called specklers. You start each game with 3 lives or pulses. A pulse has been allocated a specific period of time which decreases. You will come across elements such as timers and subtracts. On it goes inside with more convoluted detail. Timers slow down your pulse counter. Subtracts have a reverse effect, and then you've got some hints. You have 30 bullets per screen. You have to keep moving. There's only the left half of your statron working, so find out where blind spots are. And unsurprisingly, the 5th hint there, it isn't a game you're likely to master in 2 easy lessons. There are lots of twists which are likely to take you by surprise. Yeah, it's actually not going to surprise me that much based on how convoluted the instructions are. And then there's some scoring information and the loading instructions. Absolutely baffling. Okay, so here's the title screen. Pretty basic stuff. It says Hyperforce, there is no escape, with a copyright at the bottom there, Tony Takushi 1987. And it's got some noise in the background. There's no way you could call it music, it's just an annoying throbbing noise. So that's it for the title screen. Let's get on with the game. I'll try and explain what's going on, but I've had several goes and I'm still not entirely sure what I'm doing. So you get all these nice colours there on the screen. It says Shield Defense something, 1 I think, in difficult to read text. And you control this thing in the middle of the screen, which is kind of a blue, only described as a blue throbbing equals sign. And the idea of the game is to collect, or I think the idea of the game is to collect the pods, which are the little brown things, I think. When you collect one with the left hand side of the statron, which is the thing I'm moving around, it lowers the number of pods required by 1. There's also some little sort of spinning star things. There's one just to the left of me there. I don't know what they are. I think they might be the things that are supposed to increase your pulse level, but when I collect them it doesn't seem to do that. So that was my first life lost. What I haven't mentioned so far is you can shoot, and while the instructions say you've only got 30 bullets, I'm firing like crazy now at the walls that are closing in and trying to destroy the pods, and you can see I've obviously fired more than 30 bullets already. The real difficulty in the game is trying to actually collect these pods, because they move and go somewhere else every so often. The walls destroy them if they run into them, and your little Statron thing moves around so bloody quickly, it's really hard to line them up to collect them with the left hand side of the thing. That happens a lot there, just where you're about to get it and they vanish or they get hit by the wall. Yeah, collecting those things for the pulse just doesn't seem to make any difference. So I'll go again. Another life, much of the same. Try and get to the next level. 3 pods to collect. See, if you don't collect them with the left hand side, they just vanish. You spend the whole time moving the joystick up and down just trying to line it up with them, and just as you do, oh, I think I've just completed it actually, but just as you do most of the time, they vanish and go somewhere else. So this is level 2, and it's more of the same. This time the pods look like these things with the little wings on, and you've got to collect 15 of them, and the walls are now, there's 3 of them making a kind of a triangle. So again, you can try and blow the walls back. Doesn't really seem to make much odds whether you do or not. I don't know whether shooting these little stars and things might help as well. I've got no idea, but I've just lost my last life, I think, there. That's probably game over. No, not quite. I've got another life, it seems. Let's try and get a few more of these pods then. Oh, just line up, you bloody thing. Impossible. It's just a really annoying, impossible game. Got one. I don't know if there's a strategy to like clear a big space and then go and try and get them, but they're so difficult to collect. It's really the only ones you can get quite easily if they're stuck at the side of the screen, because then you can just move up and down the side of the screen. And there goes my remainder of my pulse, and I got 11,000 points, and game over. It says, where are all the heroes? Well, clearly not here. So I'll just go quickly through a little bit of it again, see if I can make any progress score wise. But it almost seems you're better off just rolling around in a circle and hoping for the best with collecting these pods. Very annoying game. I should probably mention the graphics and stuff, I suppose. They're really naff, really unpleasant to look at. There are some colours, but a lot of things are just coloured brown, which isn't a very nice colour to colour things in space, I wouldn't say. And also the noise is just horrendous as well. You've got this horrible throbbing sound in the background, and also there goes my first life actually. I think I did alright there. Only got 3 left. And there's also not really any decent sound effects either. They're all just sort of squeaky sort of bullet noises. Just going to need 1 pod. You see the Statron's moving really fast now. I don't know if that's is influenced in any way by what else is going on in the game, but the pods are also moving around really fast as well. One of the walls is gone, and it's suddenly got really, really, really difficult. But I've actually just managed to get to the next level, I think. Or did I die? It's not really very easy to tell. Right, I'm on the 2nd level with a couple of lives for the first time. Score wise, I'm actually doing worse than last time, I think. But let's go for level progress rather than score and see how I get on. Oh, it's just, you have to be so precise. And I think that's a pulse gone then, is it? Yeah. I know I managed to collect 3 pods that time. It's so totally random. You've just got no idea what's going on at all. It's a horrible game. You can probably guess I don't like it very much. It's much like the first game in this series, Frenesis. That was also horrible, with much of the same confusion about what the hell you're supposed to do. If it was clear, you know, what got your scores and all that kind of thing, it'd make it a bit easier, but there's so many things going on, it's just impossible to work out what gives you the opportunity to increase your score and what doesn't. See, I thought I was doing better than last time here, but I seem to be doing worse, so I don't know if that's because I'm not shooting certain things, I'm not running into certain things in the right order. It did say in the instructions you have to collect the pods in a certain order, but there's nothing that indicates what order they should be collected in, so I don't know. It's all just really confusing and not really a lot of fun. And just get a few more down the side. I might just fluke it. Oh, so annoying. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm going to run out of pulse again, so I still haven't managed to get past the second level. I did actually manage to get a little bit better of a score than the first time in the end, but I'm definitely not playing it again. Basically, it's a load of rubbish, not worth $1.99 and not worth any more of my or your time.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.